Hello, welcome to Between Two Eagles Nest. I am your host, the legend, JJ Britt, alongside the man, the president of Eagle Lake Community Baseball, who he actually decided to rename for some reason, Eagle Lake Community Baseball. Mr. Jake Wren, how you doing, Jake?
Doing good, buddy. Thanks for having me.
Good, man. Good. This is going to be, trust me, unlike any other podcast you'll ever see. So bear with us, enjoy it, and let's start with the scoreboard. Last week we had A B games. The 6U went 0-2, but lost 22-21 to a Lakeland Highlands team, and the coach told me that they're getting better every time. So it's really promising on that bunch.
You gotta love the T-ball scores, like 20 to 35.
Right.
Only T-ball.
8U Lawson went 1-1. They won 9-7 to a team on the Game Changer. I don't know who it was. It was TBA or whatever. So obviously somebody they didn't want to put in. So which is fine. But congratulations to 8U Lawson. 8U Lenning went 0-2. Just not really a really good game. Really good day for them. But they'll bounce back, I'm sure. The 7U went 1-1 with a win versus Bartow.
That's cool. Those kids work hard. Man.
They do. They work really hard. And that's Coach Burtis.
They have better coaches. They probably do all right.
Right? 9U went 1-1 with a win versus Bartow at 8-4. So that was good. All these games were at Haines City last week.
The 9U team's playing 10U teams, right?
Right. The 9U teams is playing 10U teams. So it is. So they're playing actually up in their division a little bit. So really cool to see them going back to the 7U. 7U thinks they can win it all in this coming up tournament. Wow. So that's a quote from Nick Gonzalez and Thomas Burtis.
Love the optimism. That's good. I like that.
The 10U went 0-2 today. They Sunday. They struggled a little bit, but they still had fun. That's the whole point of it. And I'm proud to say that my 12U team, who's actually had less than a month of work together, we won our first game.
That's cool.
We went 1-1 and won 6-2 over Bartow. So that team's a growing team, and it's really, really fun to watch them develop. So that's the end of the scoreboard, y'all guys. Good afternoon, Mr. President. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I was hesitant to join this thing, but excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
Yes, sir.
The first 2 episodes were awesome, by the way. They were really good.
Thank you. Appreciate
it. To make Pastor Coach and Stevie Chase look good, like that was cool.
Hey, do whatever we have to do around here. So let's start by saying congratulations on your nomination for another term. I understand you don't really like your opponent. Wait a minute. Hey, this is the wrong paper. This is for the other president. Sorry, we can't get good help here at the park. It just can't happen. I guess Tyler Bowen wrote that one. But anyway, what has been your favorite change to the park under your tenure? And how did you convince everybody that it wasn't just for your team's benefit?
I don't really know what you're talking about there, but I really enjoyed the bullpen cages. I think, you get to see people using those all the time, which whether they're at the park or not, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Again,
not answering my question. Okay, we're good. It's been fun watching you grow as a league president and a coach. What have you done with all your size large shirts, man? And do you still have some? Or did you throw them away?
They're probably next to all of your baseball hats. I think it's probably in the same.
I run out of hats, so I started wearing the cowboy hats.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I haven't noticed.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
All right. Your baseball career. I understand you went to Haines City High School.
That's right.
I'm sorry. I really am. I apologize.
You have something against Haines City?
You tell everyone that you will listen that you played with Chris Sale.
Yep.
How good did he have to be to make up for your impact on that team?
That was like 18 years ago. What,
Yeah, but
you make Stevie
you-
Chase look good, and
you
what's
look
going on?
but you're a lot bigger. You're a lot stronger. Your muscles. You're bigger than Stevie Chase. So it's not. And Stevie Chase didn't even.
I'm not a hobbit, right? Like
Stevie Chase didn't even. If you listen to the podcast, Stevie Chase didn't even make it out of college.
well,
So
that I understand.
so let's go on. Obviously, it doesn't matter how much weight you bench. You can only make it so far in your playing career. I mean, Chris Sale's skinny as a rod.
Yeah, we actually used to
And
call him
he-
Splinter. That was his nickname. Yep.
And he made it.
hmm
But it tells me you really stunk at baseball. Is that true?
There's parts of that are true for sure, but I mean, you're skinny.
Yeah, but I never went anywhere. I didn't plan on going anywhere.
This is great. This is great.
I mean,
thanks for having me.
I
much
started
longer do we
coaching
have?
when I was 16.
Is there a time on this?
Yeah, we got plenty of time. Seriously, after playing, you started coaching at Haines City High School. Now I see why they ain't won a district in a while. You know, it's just kind of that's the whole Jake Wren thing, I guess.
This is good.
Yeah.
This is good.
So, have you always weighed more than your batting average?
Have you always looked like a cross between John Dutton and Orange County Choppers?
Yes, I have. Thank you for asking. I apologize, folks. This is probably the most uncomfortable podcast you'll ever watch. But, you know, we're trying to get to the hard-nosed questions around here. Your predecessor,
Yeah.
Greg Tate.
This is a serious question?
This is serious.
Okay.
Your predecessor, Greg Tate, his reign included a state tournament at the park.
Yeah.
All right. Shout out to that 10U team that went to the World Series in West Palm Beach. Since then, your leadership, which has been high up, has seen the park grow tremendously. Investments made in many large improvement in the projects. The creation of the affiliated AB and the elite teams. My question for you is, how many state titles would Greg Tate would have won with this same resource?
Are you done?
Yeah.
Next question.
I don't know how I'm going to do a podcast if he won't answer the question. This is a legitimate question. All right, moving on. We got some trophies behind us. Why don't you tell us about your favorite that you contributed to?
You know, we actually do have a trophy that we contributed right here. Rookie B, Lakeland Highlands runner-up.
Oh, we
Not a
can't
big
see
deal.
it on the...
It's right here.
Hold on.
Bring it down?
Yeah, bring it down
How
for
about
us so you can see.
Yeah,
There
not
you
a
go.
big deal here. Rookie B.
Okay. Rookie B. How many teams were in it? In the bracket?
3.
3. Congratulations on the win.
Yeah.
At least first and second got a trophy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so congratulations on that. Eagle Lake Ballpark has been known to have a family feel and an environmental place.
It definitely does.
Talk about how your nephew decided to leave Eagle Lake to go to Auburndale.
You talk about how your brother went back to Mulberry.
Well, that I can't. I still am trying to figure that one out.
Yeah,
but
too.
I don't talk to my brother. So in response to that, do you have any response to the allegations that you secretly are an Auburndale booster, especially given last year's All-Star results? You know, you coached the 9U and basically handed Auburndale the district championship.
Yeah, they had a good year. Very funny. Next joke. Is there an actual question that you're going to ask me?
U.S. history question. You ready for this one?
Yeah.
All right. Can you recall another presidency like yours where the vice president is more beloved?
Yeah, probably Nixon. This will probably end up in a similar fashion.
Let's talk about your family. You are the weakest link of the whole family.
Great.
Miss Chelsea reminds me of another first lady.
Mm-hmm.
You may be the president, but we all know who calls the shots around here.
This is great. Really enjoyed my time. Is the time up?
No, not yet. We're getting there. you lucked up and had 3 great daughters, Haley, Hadley, and Paisley.
Yep.
I love them to death.
Yeah.
And I got to say, personally, they're all 3 going to be better players, ball players than you are. And the sad thing about it is Haley don't even play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where does that put them in relation to you?
No,
I guarantee you they can all hit a fungo better than you.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I heard that your wife Chelsea coached her competitive soccer team to a championship last weekend. Congratulations, girls! Good job.
She did. Yep.
I'm happy. I'm very happy for them, and I'm glad your daughter got to hold a trophy for the first time. That's pretty awesome, dude. Was it a big one? Did you get to see it? Is my question. Did you get to see the trophy, or was you like the dad that got to sit on the sideline and you did get a picture with the trophy, right? Because I know after the tournament, the parents get, you know, the sideline parents get a chance to stand with their daughters with their trophy.
You make Stevie Chase look like a good guy, and all you're doing right now is just trying to tear me down. What's going on? Are you trying to run for president? Like, is there an impeachment coming? What?
You never know. I'm just trying to ask questions here. How does it feel to be the second best coach in your family?
I don't know. Why don't you tell me?
No, my team's undefeated.
The one that you stack every year, and you have to go pick up the kids to bring them to the park.
No,
they all need a ride.
No, my brother's the one that does the bus. Okay. So no, Troy does the bus. I fill a team in a 2-year fashion to where I can win in the second year. You know, at least I'm going to win something.
Yeah, that's true.
Have you considered letting Chelsea become the Elite 10U coach? Oh, or better than that, my question is not even that. Why was Miss Chelsea not? Why was Miss Chelsea left off the 10U All Star ballot for the 10U All Star 8? She's more deserving than you are, I think.
I think I'm about to get a call. Like this is not going well. I don't know if you understand that.
Yeah, well, I'm just speaking the truth here. Lightning round. Who would win in a foot race, you or Chelsea?
Well, actually, Paisley and Chelsea raced, right? And Paisley beat Chelsea pretty good. And then Paisley and I raced, and I beat Paisley pretty good. So transitive property, pretty sure I'd beat Chelsea.
Okay. Who's won more championships, you or Chelsea?
I'm not doing this anymore. I'm taking my trophy. I'm getting out of here.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Between Two Eagles Nest. I apologize, and I apologize to you, Jake. I went and talked to him. We figured it out. We're good. We're gonna get. I promised him we'd get to some serious questions, and that's what we're gonna do. So, are you good, Jake?
Yeah, I think I'll be all right.
All right, buddy. All right. So let's get back into it. When did your love of baseball start to develop?
Man, I think early on, 5, 6 year old playing baseball and watching the Braves, play on TV back in the day when you had Chipper Jones,
right?
John Smoltz, Tom Glavine, Greg Maddux.
Oh yeah.
My favorite of all time player, Andrew Jones. I love watching Andrew play. But I would watch, and my dad would always tell me that I was the only 5-year-old that would actually watch an entire baseball game. I'd watch it start to finish, and in between innings or when they were switching offense and defense, I would run over to the foyer and he'd throw me a tennis ball, and I'd work on catching and stuff, and all that. But yeah, it was like the event that we loved in our house. Yeah.
Good. So to throw back, I watched the Braves religiously back in the '80s, and it was Dale Murphy, Gene Garber, that bunch. That's where I begun to love it. So the Atlanta Braves thing is really cool. It's
no doubt.
I hear you say all the time that the game resets when you go from a 200 field to a 300 field. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think most of my baseball coaching history was on the big field before I joined Eagle Lake. But so I got to see firsthand often that so many kids, leave a great 12U travel team and advance to the 300-foot field, and they're just not ready. They don't have the skill set to be able to cover the range that they need to. They don't have the arm strength, to be able to play.
Right.
And then you got some kids that are kind of used to being that bigger kid, right? That can just hit a pop fly over the fence, right? But all of a sudden, that pop fly is either an out or they're getting thrown out at first base, because it's 90 feet. It's a huge difference, right? And so I always try to tell people to prepare your kid for when the game resets, because I feel like that is a huge pinch point where a lot of kids stop playing the game.
Right.
They stop playing after 12U because they can't really keep up on the big field.
All right. Who were some of your biggest influences as a coach?
As a coach, besides you?
Yeah.
No, starting early on, Archie Rich, which is actually Matt Rich's grandfather,
Okay,
Finn
yeah,
Bowen's grandfather. He was an all-star coach, ended up being my first travel coach. Did a great job with us, and he kind of tucked in underneath Dave Schaefer, because Jordan and Dennis Gwynn and those guys, were a few years ahead of us at Haines
Right.
City Little League. So he tucked in underneath and kind of learned from Dave. Dave was always been kind of a pioneer on the baseball field.
Right.
So
Right.
aside from obviously Dave Schaefer is a huge influence to me as well. Like I talk to him once a week, if not more, and he's always got some information and is always forthcoming and just like a very gracious baseball mind. It would help anybody if they called him. He'd help you out in any way that he could. And lastly, Sal Lombardo is the founder of the Orlando Scorpions, and I got to train with him quite a bit. I think from a demeanor standpoint, the delivery and the communication to the players, we have similar personalities. We're relatively quiet,
Right.
and love the way that he could really break down and relate the game to a player. Like one of the best baseball minds, and one of those guys that's like 60 years old and still does the drill better than me at 17. Like very frustrating, but doesn't look like he should be able to do that well. But yeah, huge shout out to Sal. Love that guy.
I one of the guys that I look back to is Dave Saliba.
Yeah.
I actually just saw him at lunch just a couple minutes ago.
That's cool.
But he coached coached me at Winter Haven for years, and just the mind, that's the thing I like, is just picking their brain, just about baseball, period.
And this is your podcast, right? But I would tell you that, in my opinion, anybody that's really striving to be a great coach never stops learning. And that doesn't matter what level you're at. I think there's guys in the pros that are still learning about positive reinforcement, and the way to try to craft the player's brain to only think and focus on the positive outcomes,
Right.
instead of worrying about the error that you had or why you can't hit a slider.
Right.
There's the general managers at the major league level are learning that stuff now, which is pretty neat.
Yep. What's your favorite position to coach or to teach on the field?
Oh man, definitely pitching. Pitching. I think today's version of pitching is kind of watered down to a degree. Like they're all looking for velo, spin rate, how that sort of stuff. They're checking percentages on swing and miss on whatever pitches, and that's great. But there's nothing better to me than watching a Greg Maddux or somebody that can really just carve you up, keep you off balance. They're not going to beat you, with a fastball. They're not going to throw 198, 99, right? But like they have that ability to for one, intimidate you on the mound, and getting into the batter's box that you're in for a fight. Right. And I love that nuance to pitching. I love teaching that. I love watching what I would call a thrower develop into a pitcher. That even if they have their C game today, they don't have their A game, it's still going to be a dogfight.
Oh, absolutely.
They're going to keep you in it.
You've done very well in the 9U, and when you was doing the 9U last year and the 10U. I will say, you've moved your kids up. A lot of your 10U is now playing major league. You've done a really good job developing the pitchers to the point where they're not afraid to go face 11 and 12-year-olds, and they've got the good form, they know the fact, because a lot of times I see it when you get into the minor leagues, is you teach, just get it over the plate.
Yeah.
Just get it over the plate. And let them hit the ball. We got defense behind it. When you get up to the majors, then you start working.
You're trying to miss bats, right?
You got
to get past the hey, I can throw it a strike. That's
right.
Great, but you're going to get hit 300 feet.
Yeah.
So we got our guys that have good stuff, and they're able to change pitches and mix speeds. and we've got to be able to miss bats and really, continue to work the strategic side of hitting. I know most youth hitters probably don't think like, well, I wonder if a curveball's coming here, they're going to try to elevate a fastball, but we're going to teach that still.
Right.
And so most of our pitchers will start to try to understand what either the pitcher or the pitching coach on the other team's trying to do to them too.
Right.
But really, no credit to me or Tyler's actually our pitching coach for the elite team, but so he does a great job with our pitchers. But really, Carlos, Joel, like those guys are amazing for the kids.
Yeah.
They
Absolutely.
they work their tails off with the kids and give back. So
quick plug: Carlos is coming up soon. Can't wait for that. Actually, he was here today. It's a long story, but so from the people that hear your involvement with the ballpark and don't know you, how often in this, I didn't know this, but how often do you get asked how old your son is?
It's all the time. I mean, all the time, and it's always, hey, yeah, I'm involved in the youth baseball park. And, yeah, that's awesome. How old are your sons?
And right? Just so you know, Jake has 3 beautiful daughters. No sons, yeah. 3 beautiful daughters.
The roast is over. Thank you, Jake. But no, that gets asked all the time, right? It's always, how old are your sons? And I think, like usually I'll answer like, well, actually I have all girls. And then you have this momentary confusion where they're trying to figure out, like trying to process in their brain. They're trying to figure that part, and then they go, wait a second, are you talking about softball? Like, are you involved with softball? I'm like, no, they play baseball with the boys. But I think part of the amazing thing about Eagle Lake is that there's always girls, playing in every division. And I think they, there's for Paisley in particular, my oldest, she kind of sets the tone for our family, but there's been pioneers before her, that have been really good. Alex Vector was a girl that was just a couple of years older than her that she got to play with. That's awesome baseball player.
I coached a girl named Amelia Petit that was here for years and years and years. And a phenomenal baseball player.
You got Bella, right?
Bella.
From a few years ago. That Paisley would stay after, her rookie games to watch Bella pitch in majors, because and fun fact, her little sister Avery is on the soccer team.
Oh, cool.
But no, I thought that was always awesome. Just having those kind of pioneers for the other girls that want to play baseball. But really huge. I'm going to try not to get choked up here, but really owes so much to the young boys, that have made it to where they didn't feel awkward. They didn't feel like they were an outsider, on the team.
Absolutely,
they've supported them from day one. They treat them no different than any of the other boys. And heck, there's, like a Seth Couture wears you got struck out by a girl shirt, because
and then people get mad about it.
Yeah, well, that's part of it. But, I think he wears that shirt, in support of Paisley and a lot of the kids that we've played with since 3 or 4.
Yeah, and then awesome. You go in, and I'm actually on a team now coaching another one of yours, Mackenzie.
Yeah,
and she's another soccer player,
goalie.
And and she's a baller, man. She's really good. So my next question is, and I've been wanting to ask somebody this question because I've got in my mind what I think, but Major League Baseball, we know it's coming. It's coming. How many years do you feel to where we see the first woman play for a major league franchise?
I don't know. I think the possibilities there. I think the skill set's got to be different, right? Like I think what you're looking for out of a female baseball player would be somebody that's extremely fast, right?
Right.
And more of a slappy, like an Ichiro almost.
Do you think there will be one eventually?
Oh, it's going to happen, right? It's going to happen, but it's just trying to put them into a box of what are they going to do? There's really been a few different types of pitchers in particular that have kind of gone extinct, right? Like there's really no knuckleballers anymore. There's very few submarine guys, so there's potential there that maybe a female, picks up on one of those and really becomes kind of that anomaly that bridges that gap and revives that sort of strategy of pitching.
Yeah. I personally, the reason I asked that question, because I think it's coming sooner or later.
Yeah,
I really do. I think the transformation of that is coming to where you will see a female play for a Major League Baseball team.
Yeah.
The talent, you can't, the talent's there.
Mm-hmm.
You can match talent with talent nowadays anywhere.
Yep.
It's just somebody giving them an opportunity to do it.
Yeah,
So,
and
is the way I look
I
at
think
it.
the other part of it is you don't want to be the dog and pony show either, right? That it's just a publicity stunt. You don't want to be that,
Yeah.
So hopefully they don't do that, but yeah, there's plenty of talented females out there that can play the game for
Yep.
sure.
And just so y'all guys know, Eagle Lake supports females playing baseball. We always have, and we welcome them. And there's some of the baddest
And coaching too.
Coaching too, absolutely. There's some of the baddest players on the planet, and I love watching them. I really do. What made your decision to become president of the league?
That's a good one. I actually honestly didn't want to do it. To be honest with you, Greg Tate reached out to me whenever he was rolling off, the subject of your dig there earlier. But whenever he was rolling off and said, "Hey, I think you'd be good at this. You should really think about it." I've been on the board for like 30 minutes at that point, so I was like, "Dude, you're out of your mind." And I honestly, this is the truth. I don't even know if you know this, but the way that I even got on the board, I called Greg because I wanted to key to the batting cage. And I was like, "Hey, man, look, I promise," and I'm dead serious.
That was back. Yeah, that was back.
Them hard.
That
like,
was
listen,
that was back when
I
we
will
had a.
leave it better than I found it. I promise you. Like, you just I'll sweep in there. I just would really. We didn't have any cages outside of the fields at the time, right? So to hit in the cage was like a huge win. So I was doing everything that I could. And he's like, "Well, let me tell you about a way that you can get a key." And so that's when I joined on the board. But from there, really Alan Hamilton, a good friend of mine, Blake Calcutt, recommended that I should put my name in the hat and give it a shot. So it's been cool.
Well, and look, I will be the first to tell you, and I've told you this many, many a times, what you've done since then is, all seriousness, has been phenomenal. The leadership that you have bestowed on all of us, is beyond words.
I definitely appreciate that, but I think it makes me uncomfortable because for a couple of reasons, right? Like, for one, the amount of people that contribute.
Oh, absolutely.
If you can tell the audience better than I can, but it's got to be at an all-time high.
Absolutely.
There's no comparison.
Yes.
There's so many people that give and sacrifice so much to help this park, and they've started to understand, and it's actually attracted even families that aren't on the board to just help out. It's been really cool.
But I'm going to say this, you've somehow figured out a way to do something no other president has done. And that's attract people, especially to the board, but attracted people to help. It's been, for years, we've always been a volunteer organization, a volunteer park, but you figure out a way to where it lightens the load on everybody.
Yeah, I think I've sold a line of shit to quite a few people, and I probably owe a lot of people favors at this point. But no, it's been really cool, and the community supports the park.
Absolutely.
That's what's amazing.
Well, and I joked about it earlier, but let's talk about that a minute. I think that's a big thing, is the fact that y'all decided, we all decided with yours, and I think a lot of it was Chelsea as well. Y'all wanted to bring the community involved in this, and to change it to where it's a community, Eagle Lake community baseball instead of Eagle Lake baseball. So talk on that a little bit. Where did that? I mean, I love the idea, but where did that kind of come in?
That was not either of ours.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Who was that? I'll think of her name in a minute. But she was a former secretary, Bonnie.
Bonnie.
Yeah, that was Bonnie's idea, actually. And I got to be honest with you. At first, I'm like, Bonnie, I don't know about that, man. What's the point? But at the same time, after she was able to kind of get everybody on board with that name change, I think it really did start to kind of make sense, and you start to see the momentum pick up with the community and understand that we're not a park that's been granted $2 or $3 million to redo our playing surfaces or anything like that. Very appreciative of the city of Eagle Lake, but they just don't have the resources to be able to help with that. So it really does take a community to keep this place going and keep it growing.
What's one of your favorite moments from coaching here at the park?
Yeah, one. There's actually two that come to mind with the same player. So Julian Hernandez is a player that was on our team for a long time.
Yes.
One of my favorite kids at the park. Amazing kid. Julian has special needs, and he didn't let that stop him in any way, shape, or form. There was a time last spring where he got a hit, and I don't think there was a dry eye in the house. He's been trying to hit for so long. That was just a really special moment.
Right.
I think that was really unique. And then on the other side of the coin, he got an opportunity to pitch. And so when he got on the mound, we moved him up a little bit because he's a little wild with it. But he throws it hard. I love it. Like he's up there and he's not taking anything off. Like he's gonna throw hard. Like
I'm gonna
Carlos
prove
will tell
to y'all I can
he's
do
like,
this.
I'm doing it, dude. And so we move him up a little bit. The other team was extremely gracious. It was Ridge Point, and there was a kid on the team. This is I think this was a couple falls ago. Kid on the team, Brady Starmer. He used to be on our elite team.
Yeah.
Brady moved to South Carolina.
Hope you're doing good, Brady.
Yeah, I miss you, Brady, for sure. But one of the greatest kids too. So Julian's struggling to throw strikes a little bit. I think Alex is umpiring, so he's giving him some pretty good strikes in there. But Brady, without really even being told, goes up there and strikes out on purpose. At 9 years old.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like just to
he could hit. Brady could hit just about anything.
Incredible hitter, right? Incredible kid, incredible player.
Yeah.
But to see that, trying not to get choked up now, but it's really special to see that in a kid.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I actually was standing outside. I remember that game vividly, and it was so cool to watch. And the joy in the good thing about it that I remember is the joy in Julian's face when he done it.
Oh, I mean,
it's like he won the World Series.
He's such an expressive kid. I think
it's like
too, like when he got that hit, right?
Yeah.
He gets on base. He doesn't see stop signs.
No.
Like he's going. It's full send, and like that's it. And so there's been a couple times where they tagged him out, but Julian does not slow down.
He's still playing to this day.
That's the
I
one
seen
thing.
him the other night. He's having a blast, loving it.
He's probably the one thing that I miss about moving up to majors early. Because he did remain in minors. But he really, at a time when rec ball, especially 9 years old, when everybody's trying to figure out how to throw strikes,
right?
He made rec ball worth it. Every second of every practice or every game. So he's one of my favorite moments, if that makes sense.
All right. So when you walk away from presidency,
mm-hmm.
All right, your term ends July of next year, 2025.
Yep.
And we've already known, for those that don't know, you're not going to rerun again.
Right.
What's next? What's next in the legacy of Mr. Jake Wren?
Well, I think you can attest to. I've always been somebody that prefers to be in the shadows, not in the limelight. So I'll continue to help Eagle Lake, but probably will expect to receive a lot less phone calls throughout the day. So I continue to help with the park. My kids are going to be here. I'm always going to bleed Eagle Lake. That's part of it. I think we have, tried to create some opportunities for youth coaches in our county, and would really like to add more time in trying to develop that with the graciousness of Dave Schaefer and Ronnie Richardson and Jordan Schaefer, Saliba. Dave Saliba over at Santa Fe. He participated a couple years ago. But if we want to grow the level of baseball in Polk County to where Polk County is historically always going to be in the hunt for a high school championship at every division, which I think it's capable of. But if we want to get there, we need to really develop the coaches. We can't go try to coach every kid.
I agree.
But anything that we could do to try to help youth coaches find the right type of person, that's going to be able to dedicate their time and spend the time with the kids, and then give them the tools that they need to be successful. Give them, the resources that'll help them grow as a coach. And so I really want to focus on that. So we'll take a lot less time and probably a lot less people yelling at me. But, I'm excited for Eagle Lake to move on past me. Honestly, I think I'm really not moving on because I'm tired of the role.
Right.
I've enjoyed my time here.
It's just the next step.
Well, I think for the park, right? Like there's a point in time where I feel like any leadership can create stagnation. And so for Eagle Lake to continue to grow and evolve and hopefully, be a top program in the county, I think it needs fresh ideas. It needs a fresh perspective. It needs to kind of hit that evolution point every so often.
Real quick answer here. You've done so much in this ballpark. We've done so much in this ballpark under your reign. I mean, from the revamp of the batting cage to the nets, the bullpens,
Cages,
to the Juanita, adapting Juanita and picking it up, to now we've finally got us a district. We're hosting districts this year, which is awesome. What's the next step? What's in your minds the next step for Eagle Lake? What do you think?
Eagle Lake, I think we got to kind of focus on the two divisions that I neglect the most. I take responsibility for neglecting them the most. I think small ball and prep. We need to improve those experiences for those kids. I think small ball is their first opportunity to learn about baseball. So we're looking at some ideas to try to keep that game fun, not only for the kids, but for the parents. I think that's your first chance to really recruit and lie, cheat, and steal a parent into being a coach, right?
Right.
But, so we need to
still looking.
Yeah, always. Anybody willing to coach small ball, call me anytime. But I think that's kind of where we need we can apply some of that stuff I'm talking about, where if we can give them a program to follow, a guide map, and kind of lead them into, here's how to make a practice fun. Here's how to keep the kids engaged. Here's how to, teach them the skills they need.
Right.
I think that's really the next step. I don't think there's anything that's from like a building or anything perspective that I can at least talk about. But I think the biggest part is trying to improve those divisions.
All right. So we'll get into, we got a little under 5 minutes left. We started this question for the legend. You got a question for the legend?
Yeah, I do. So I'm going to stumble through this a little bit. I didn't write it down, but you've been here for how many years?
39.
And I know that you're a little bit different than me. Like, you don't mind the limelight, obviously.
No.
You have a podcast, you wear a cowboy hat.
Right.
It's a little bit different, right?
But, I want it.
But but I will say that, whether or not you are welcoming of the limelight or not, you have contributed so much to this park. You've been a mainstay at the park. For a number of years. You're somebody that I hope, the park will continue to elect as vice president as long as you want to do the job, because I think this park needs JJ Britt, right? So how has it been for you, to kind of see, what's going on and all this sort of stuff? What has been your actual take on it, from all of your time here? What is your legacy going to be about?
It's so, I love, and love's a big word, but I love everything that we've done at this park. And I go back to batting cages, to the nets, to even the brand new scoreboards.
Yeah.
That are now, you can use them on your cell phone, which is
super
phenomenal.
Cool. Yeah.
And
I mean, Landscaping and Barfield
Insurance. And it's just, I can't put it into words, really, because it's just phenomenal. It's to go back and I can still remember playing baseball in all clay infields, and I used to have a 67 Ford Falcon that when we had clay infields, I'd take my 67 Ford Falcon and I'd drag the field with it every week.
We had somebody do that a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Just, we don't have clay infields is the problem. But it's been so wonderful, Jake. Just to see the whole, and every once in a while I have to stand back and just, I want to be helpful, and I want to be in the part of it, and I want to be, part of the change and the growth. But sometimes I have to stand back and just to look, because I'm one of very few that have seen it back in its heyday, back in the 80s. To now, to watch it just develop. I mean, and I look at it as a building. You start it from the ground up, and it just builds. And the fact that, I think the biggest thing is, the fact that we've got 575 kids here.
It's crazy.
It's unreal, man.
You had to turn a few away.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
just crazy. Probably could have been over 600 pretty easy.
But so yeah.
Well, I don't know that you hear this enough, right? Like, I know that the board gets props and everything, and everybody here, Alex, there's a lot of people that are thanked a lot. But just wanted to tell you from everybody here, we appreciate everything you've done for the amount of time, your family sacrifices. I mean, they're here every night of the week, right? I know you guys love it. I know you get that fulfillment, but it takes a special type of person to do what you've done. So we really appreciate that.
Well, and I appreciate that. I really do. And it means a lot to myself. It means a lot to my family because, but this is where we want to be.
Yep.
We could be anywhere else.
Yeah. No, I get that because we say, hey, we're going to Eagle Lake Ballpark, and you hear Haley in the background, Eagle Way, Eagle Way. It's great.
But yeah, then I appreciate that. And as long as we joke a lot about in the chat about me being buried here, but and if that's what happens, that's what happens, but I'm born and raised Eagle Lake, and this is where I'm going to stay. And awesome. I've tried to bring people over, but I'm not going nowhere. So, but all right, folks. Well, I hope you enjoyed our conversation with the president, Mr. Jake Wren. Jake, I appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks, brother.
All right, man. And y'all come back next week. Check us out with Mr. Carlos Sierra himself, the pitching legend.
Bring a translator.
So y'all guys have a great holiday. Happy Easter, everybody. Jake, I'll see you at Pastors tomorrow.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
9 a.m.
All right. See y'all. Bye.